All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 2M in Sweden. I'm one of your hosts of the show, Hayes at AO Shifty, with the one, the only Steven at Steven underscore Springs. Steven, how you doing? How's life going? How's everything in the world?
Things are good. My daughter's birthday was yesterday. She turned 9.
It was, yeah.
Talk about that a little later. But yeah, all things are moving. We got our sales kickoff. Oh, I'm not going to be here next week. I'll not be available.
Okay.
We have our company
Well,
sales kickoff Monday through Thursday next week. So,
yeah, it's about that time of the
unfortunately,
year.
I'm not going anywhere because our headquarters is in Columbia, Maryland. So,
Yeah.
hate to see that, but you know, we're gonna have a good time. But other than that, same old, man.
Mm-hmm. So that's there's a bunch of different things that I want to end up talking about, bringing up on the show. Um, you can see at the bottom the different things that we have to talk about. This week, I have a cut water for you guys. So every single week, it's going to be something. We're going to talk about the NBA All-Star weekend that was, give our thoughts and different things. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I had a conversation with someone today, so we're going to bring that up too. It figures they're not in the fuck the Jags category, but they're damn near close. At that point, I don't know if most people have heard about LaMelo Ball and his situation, but we're going to talk about LaMelo Ball. There was a dog. I don't know how many people watch the Winter Olympics. I do, but there was a dog that ended up coming on the slopes. Yep. So that's something else I want to end up talking about with Steven. And then also they had a dunk contest in the Philippines. Do you know anything about that one?
Of course not. Of course I don't.
So we're going to get into all of that. The first thing I do want to end up just talking about is this whole wolf dog situation. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm trying to end up bringing it up, but there was downhill slopes that people were on Winter Olympics. It was one of the different contests. And me personally, Steven, I didn't even think it was a dog at first.
Well, all right, let's see this.
All right, let me share it for you guys, and then you all can give me your thoughts on the whole thing. All right, can you see it?
Not yet. Gosh.
So that was the first thing that I needed to end up bringing up because I saw it. At first, when I saw it, I was like, there's no damn way. Like, that's what we're calling a dog. Yes, I get it. They're saying that it's a local wolf dog. Doesn't goddamn matter. I promise you, if you just saw it outside, you're going to end up assuming one thing about it. The next part that I wanted to bring up, I know I probably watched more of this than you. Did you watch Unrivaled at all with the 101s?
No.
Yeah. So it was, for me, the reason why I'm bringing
is that the women's league?
Yes. Yeah, I know. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is I like the creativity that they came up with for a 1v1. It's something that the NBA, and I wanted to ask you, could you ever see the NBA doing something like that? And for context, Chelsea Gray beat Alicia Gray to win the one-on-one. She ended up taking home $200K. There's a bunch of different things. Their idea, I hope it could take them much farther. You saw Paige Buckers. That's the emotions you want to see. Like, Paige Buckers lost. She just walked out of the shit. She didn't even give two shits about it. But for it to only be $200K, I wish that they could end up doing more for them. Again, that goes in how many eyes are looking at it for it to happen. But using this to transition into the NBA, could you ever see them doing a 1v1 or 2v2?
No.
Exactly.
No.
NBC's trying to bring it up.
I mean, they could do it, but you're not going to get LeBron versus Durant. You're not going to get that. Like, you're going to get, guys like you and me going one-on-one.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
No, I saw that report that they want to try that next year. Like, are we going into the All-Star game now? Are we?
Yep. It's your world.
So I watched it. I did not watch anything Friday or Saturday. Friday, I just didn't care. Saturday, we were out, so I just missed it. It was early too.
Yeah.
But I did watch the All-Star game.
I want to start there.
That
early. Was early.
Why was it so early?
Steven.
It was like 5 o'clock. It was in LA, right?
Yes.
It was in LA.
That's what I was thinking. Because I'm getting text at like 7. It starts at 8. Yes.
It was over by
It
8.
was starting like I was watching Nolan Powell shooting threes, thinking that this is just warm ups, and it's the real thing.
Yep. Yeah, that was weird. And the game started early too.
Yeah.
Also weird. But anyway, I didn't watch anything Saturday night. Dunk contest, not much you can do, honestly. Like, even if you get the big names, you can only do so many dunks. Like, there's not much more you can do. 3-point contest, same thing. Unless someone makes all all the balls, all the shots. But like,
Yeah.
not much you can do. The other stuff, was there a skills competition? Because I didn't watch that.
No, not really.
Okay.
It was just a shooting thing with the different people.
Anyway, so heading into Sunday, the NBA needed something good to come of the All-Star game. And you didn't watch it live, correct?
No, I watched highlights afterwards.
Okay, so we had friends over, so I wasn't going to intentionally watch it. It's always on, but wasn't going to intentionally watch it. So we had friends over for dinner, and I put it on. Me and my boy David watched it. Shout out to David.
Yeah,
and we caught the end of the first game. I think it was when De'Aaron Fox hit the game winner, and LeBron. They had a little moment. So, but we watched the whole like Team LeBron versus the world game, which then the last game, the championship game, was dog shit because Team LeBron was completely spent. Absolutely. And they put everything into that second game, which I'm not going to say it was exactly like it, but it had a hint of the Olympics from last year.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like, it's the USA versus the world. I know there was 2 NBA All-Star teams, but it was LeBron, Durant. I know Steph was out, but Kawhi. I mean, shout out to fucking Kawhi, dude, going off 31
went off
in that quarter.
Yeah,
I think Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, whatever. But it was LeBron, like that. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute about it being LeBron, but felt like there was like the internal bragging rights thing where it's like, yeah, it's an international thing, but like this is still like a US thing. Like we're still hooping over here. So I think that like that added to it. This was the first All-Star game I can remember ever watching, and it's been since like the early 2000s since I started watching the games, but like this was not like a playground oop after oop, fast break, this and that, BSing around for 3 quarters and they kick in a high gear in the 4th quarter. This was like really good basketball for an All-Star game, so I think that helped, like that mattered. The NBA got really lucky that it played out like that. Like Team LeBron winning, like that was dope. And I forget, Jokic wasn't playing, and neither was Luka. But
he played a little bit.
Yeah, but most
not usually. Yeah.
As much as you probably would want them to see. So it helped. That I'm trying to find the All-Stars for. So like the All-Star game was very good. The second game, LeBron versus the world, that was dope. So they needed that. I saw again that they want to do maybe 1v1 or 2v2. First of all, there was nothing ever wrong with East versus West. Home jerseys, away jerseys,
there wasn't.
Nothing ever wrong with that. How it was up until the, like mid 2000s was perfectly fine. Like I texted you about this. Like they should just do winner gets home court advantage in the finals. Yeah, MLB does that with All-Star game. Yep, exactly. They get home court advantage in the World Series. Just do East versus West. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't need to do the international thing. I'm sure they'll do that again. But we need to stick with something, and this seemed like a good thing. So stick with it, and they don't need to change it every single year. Everything else like they don't need a dunk contest anymore. They don't need that anymore, honestly. Because it's not
so that's where I was. That's where I was gonna go with the next thing that I have for us on the calendar. Thank you for bringing that up. So they're showing a comparison between the winner in the NBA.
Yep.
So this is Keldon Johnson. I'll pause it there. What were your thoughts on his dunk?
That's still sick. Like there's not that many people that can do that. No. You know what I mean? Like that's it's but I've seen that dunk 1,000 times.
Yeah. So that was our best this year. Jackson Hayes tried to end up doing his Michael Jordan one, but then we go to the Philippines dunk contest after he finishes doing his dance.
I don't need
and that's stupid. We have this one.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Play out again. Play out again.
So this was
All right.
us.
Yep. Not bad.
And
Right.
they said he tried to distract everyone from his dunk by dancing afterwards.
Oh.
And then this was this one.
Yo. Are there any more clips of this?
I have not looked that far yet.
Well, I'm gonna do some research on that one and try and find some shit on that because that was too good. That was too good. I'm surprised you even got it.
So I found that one, and I was like, "There's no damn way." When you look at it from those different ways, but yeah, so they had the 3-point contest, which, mind you, I didn't even know Damian Lillard was back, so that was throwing me off that he was back, and then he was in it. And apparently, there's been texts going around that Steph, Clay, Damian Lillard, Devin Booker are all going to do the 3-point contest next year. I think it's in Phoenix, so they said Devin Booker. It's either in Phoenix or wherever Devin Booker's from, but it's going to be in Devin Booker's like home area.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that those 4 should be able to do it, and they'll just find like 4 other hoopers, which for me, that's great. That's really what you want to see. The 4 best go at it. You know it's going to be one of them 4. Clay's ready to end up doing something because Clay's getting fucked over right now, still being in Dallas with ain't nobody else there. But you had the 3-point contest, you had the dunk contest, which it's basically over. I don't know what you can do. You couldn't they essentially said Mac McClung's not really going to be in it. So then what are you doing at that point?
He had some sick dunks though when they showed his 4 that he pulled off. But again, like the props, jumping over people, it doesn't really like do anything for anybody anymore. No. I mean, dog. I remember, like back in the day, growing up, I'd have the boys over for the dunk contest. We'd go to someone's house and like everyone had a hoop in the driveway, and we, after each dunk, we go try it and do all that shit, or someone had a Nerf hoop inside, whatever. There's just like that's not like a thing anymore. Sad, but yeah, there's not much you can do in the dunk contest. Even if you got LeBron, like Anthony Edwards, if you got those guys, it just doesn't feel the same anymore, which sucks because it used to be dope. It used to be the coolest thing.
Everyone said it came on at like 10 o'clock, Steven.
Yeah,
everyone was watching that at the end.
Yep.
So between it being earlier and then for you to just not have the same wow factor to it, it's just like all right, whatever. So then the next part that I want to bring up is we're gonna swerve bend the corner and go to the next person, which is the one and only LaMelo Ball. So before we get into the LaMelo stuff, this is the aftermath of it. And by the way, while you're processing what the hell the aftermath of his car looked like, if you probably look in the top right corner for most, we do have our logo that's up there now too. So that's something else that we can talk about later. But this is vehicle afterwards. This is the whole thing we're going to go through, Steven, because first off, how'd you lose the wheel? Like, I don't know how when most people get in an accident, their wheel doesn't go flying. So that was the first thing. Next thing is, I don't even know how you do that. Y'all are both going just straight. It wasn't like anyone was turning.
I need to know. I want to see the result of what happened. Like, who was at fault here? Because it looks like that light is red. I mean, it just looked like that. I'm gonna blame him.
So the only thing I can guess is this car might have been turning left and they were going straight. But the next part is, 100%. Because if you look at any of the other videos, LaMelo's done this a bunch of different times. So that's the first thing. Did you hear about what type of car he got into afterwards?
Lambo, right?
How do you go from being in that to then going into a Lamborghini? Like right after. So that's your not getaway car, but your car you get to go into after. So they said this is some GTA 6 shit, only in sports. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because nobody else is going to be able to get in an accident, then just pull up into another vehicle. So that's the next part that we wanted to end up talking about.
You and I are hopping in the tow truck with the tow truck driver, and we're driving to the spot.
wherever
we're paying out of pocket like $500 to get our car
for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. So, and this is the person who they call their person in Charlotte. I don't know how the hell LaMelo Ball is that. You better find a way to get Concanipple higher up, because there's no reason why y'all should still be focusing on LaMelo. He just has stupid money. And for anyone out there, I'm not going to spend the time right now to do it, but just go look on social media and you'll see how many times LaMelo Ball has gotten in either accidents, just done some reckless shit. Every time when he leaves out of the arena, as soon as he leaves out the arena, just going through a red light, just cutting somebody off and going through. And it's a different vehicle. He's never having the same vehicle either. So that's one of our other things with the NBA. The topic that I brought up last week is still something that we should bring up this week. And I will say my story first, and then we can get into Steven's thoughts on the post LeBron era. This wasn't going to be talked about at first when Steven ended up asking me, oh, what do we have for tonight? But I told everyone last week, I'm going to end up getting Cleveland Cavaliers season tickets. I was looking at this 2 days ago. I said, all right, bet. Like, I see all this, everything I need to do. I had everything I needed. I figured out where my apartment was going to be in Cleveland, figured out like what every single down to the T. So then I looked earlier today, the tickets I was going to get were gone. All season tickets were gone. They only had quarter plans and they had half season plans. So I said, all right, you know what? I'm just going to call them. I called them, talked to the person on the phone. They gave me all the information. They said, you can't do a full season, but you could do 2 half seasons in 2 different locations. So I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to look into this. Did research for like an hour. I said, let me just lock this in today.
Because if I spend in 2 different locations.
Yeah. So it'd be like 21 games, one area, 21 the other. So then I called the person back. They didn't answer. So I left my phone number, everything. She called me back and we ended up talking. And she said, yeah, so since your phone number is out of state, we have to go through our broker just to make sure you are going to be living in the state. I made up a whole story saying that, I'm going to be moving like March 3rd. So I've done this long enough that I know I can't just end up saying I want tickets. I have to give a whole reason. Sometimes it's me and my kid are moving to the state and we want to end up going to these games. I know. Other times it's, I'm from New York, but my family is a Knicks fan, so I'm moving to Cleveland because of work. They asked me where I work at. They asked me my phone number. They said, do you know what apartment you're going to be living in? So I gave them a whole address and everything. Then they end up saying, oh my gosh, like 2 of the people we work with live in that building. It's like, so then she says, I live like down the street, but that is so cool that you're going to live there. That's an amazing building. And then they say, what apartment number? I said, well, I didn't move in yet. Because mind you, I usually would give an apartment number, but you already told me you have friends that live there. So I'm not about to give you an apartment number and then show the lie is there. The next part was, all right, we can't move forward until you give me an Ohio issued driver's license. I said, fuck, I can't. What are we going to do? Wow. Why are we? This is far too much. They said, we just want to, I believe you and your story, but we just want to make sure that everyone that's buying tickets is actually going to be going to the games. My whole thought process, and I texted my brother this, I said, I'm 95% sure LeBron's going back to Cleveland because this just sounds like too much stuff that y'all are doing. I've done a ton. Steven, I've done season tickets for college football, the Houston Rockets. No one has ever asked me for a state-issued ID. Nobody has asked me for where exactly I'm living. I can plug all that information in. We're in February. The season is not even ended for this season, and they're already sold out of season tickets for next season. What do people know there that they can't necessarily share? Could I be wrong? Absolutely. It could be the sense of LeBron's last year is next year, and these tickets are just going to be stupid sold out because LeBron's going to be coming to LA once or twice. Right. But something with Cleveland is happening with LeBron that they're drumming up this huge retirement tour. Will I still find a way to finesse to get at least half a season tickets? 100%, but we just got to take time. Can't do it now because your girl definitely knows that I'm looking for tickets. So now I got to wait a month or two. But they also have Evan Mobley, they have Jared Allen, they have James Harden, they have Donovan Mitchell, who are all there. And they're saying the only way LeBron can go there is if it's on the minimum. And then the next part they brought up was LeBron could get between $40 to $75 million for streaming rights to his farewell retirement tour. And that's when I realized the minimum doesn't mean shit. If you're going to be able to get that much money for your retirement tour, he's going to get dumb money because everybody wants this.
And then what's the minimum?
What are your thoughts? Huh?
What's the minimum?
Like, it's usually 3 or 4 million. It's for a veteran minimum. It's up there. Yeah.
Sure.
But what are your thoughts? And I'll find this out.
Are you thoughts on the season tickets or thoughts on what?
No. Thoughts on LeBron this or next year? It's $3 million. This or next year being his last year. But then also, what does the post LeBron look like?
It doesn't look good. It does not look good. I think the league is fucked. We've talked about this multiple times over the years. Like, it doesn't matter when his final year is going to be. Like, LeBron has carried the league since like before he even got in the league. You know, like we knew about LeBron. You know, if you paid attention back then, to like we've known about LeBron since he was 15, 16. Obviously, when he was in high school and his games were on TV, like like this dude has carried the league since before he got in the league. And then Jordan retired 02, 03, 03, 04. Boom, there he is. And he's been the face of the league since then on like a global scale. Like I know, and I was going through it when we were, because I asked you what we were going to talk about today, and I knew we were going to talk about this. So I went back and I was looking at like some of the dudes that we had like growing up, and we've talked about this before, but like there was just no one else that like was going to be the face of the league, you know, and like not that LeBron probably wanted it, but we had Kobe, Dirk, Shaq, AI, Duncan, Garnett, Vince
we
Carter.
don't have that right now,
bro. There's no one else, and like no other athlete. Like LeBron is the NBA, and like what Melo said the other night, right? What we were talking about, what he said, the league doesn't move without LeBron, right?
Yes,
like it doesn't.
Like
the league goes as LeBron goes, not the other way around. It's been that way since day one. And like no one has carried a sport like LeBron has, other than like Tiger Woods. But LeBron's been doing it for like 25 years almost, because he's again since before high school. So when he goes, there's just like no one. Like when he retires, whenever that's gonna be, this year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Like there's just no one now that like people want to like talk about or like gravitate to. And I was going through the all-star list of these guys: Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Johnson, Tyrese Maxey. Bro, and maybe Anthony Edwards, but people don't really like him. Like they don't want to really rock with him. Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, people hate both of them. De'Aaron Fox, Brandon Ingram, no. Donovan Mitchell, I left out Steph, Kawhi, LeBron, Durant, obviously, but you got Luka, Shea. People don't like Shea. They don't like the way he plays. They hate the Thunder. No one really fucks with Luka that much, you know, not as much as like maybe you think. People think Jokic doesn't give a fuck. Jamal Murray, like the only person maybe is like Wemby, you know, that like maybe he can be that guy, but like he's French and people in the US probably don't want to gravitate to that either. So when like there's no one that's going to be like the face of the league when LeBron retires. So they're going to look for it and they're going to try and put on someone and it's not going to go well. A fucking shout out to LeBron, dude. I mean, he's been that guy since 15, 16 years old, man. And he's carried the league like no other athlete has had to do it. So when he retires, I mean, league is super fucked.
I feel that's part of the reason why he's been around so long. He might have wanted to retire maybe a year or two ago, but they need him probably more than he needs them, in the sense of Edwards does not want it. Anthony Edwards has everything that could be it. He does everything which you should not do. In his media interviews, it's just, look, I'm just going to talk however the hell I want to talk. Then there's nobody else. There's great players in the league, but nobody of they're like, the next one.
It's like all the dudes growing up. Like, I know Michael Jordan was big, and like it's hard. Like, you'll never see me debating Jordan LeBron because obviously we didn't grow up in that era, so we don't know. But like, if you know, ask your boy Jeff. I'm sure Jeff was around during that time.
I gotta ask him that.
Like I just don't think anyone in the league has carried the league and been that guy like LeBron. Kobe didn't do that. I mean, he might have carried the Lakers after Shaq left, but like that's not the same thing as carrying the league. Like LeBron's been like globally too. LeBron's been that guy, and there's not been a more talked about athlete over the last 20 years than LeBron James. Bro, this like also like that's the thing about the guys we grew up with. LeBron, if you're talking about it, he's arguably like the greatest or the second greatest player of all time in so many people's eyes. There's no one else that we grew up with that like Kobe is in the conversation, but like not really. It's always MJ or LeBron. So we're watching arguably the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
There's no
100%.
one like we're not getting that for like the NBA is so lucky that they went from Jordan to LeBron like that. There was smooth as can be, but we're not gonna like there's no one out there that's coming up. Like any of these dudes coming out of college right now, Cooper Flag's not gonna be that guy. I know like they're all nice, but like there's just we don't have that like pure like generational type of player coming up.
Yeah.
So these guys are dope, but like we just don't have that guy.
No. So that's one part that I think a lot of people don't necessarily think of more as much as they should. LeBron maybe has a year, if 2 years left in him, because it takes a hell of a lot.
I think Zion Williamson could have been that guy.
100%. That's who they wanted.
Williamson
Zion or John Morant. They wanted them.
Yeah, I think he had
too busy eating the gumbo.
Oh man, like just ended up at the wrong fucking situation down in New Orleans. And like you knew that his health could be a problem because he was so goddamn big. But like man, he was like the whole Duke thing. He was Duke. That person. Yeah, man, he was a problem in college. And he just really shitty situation down there in New Orleans. I really wish he would have gone anywhere else. In the injuries and all that, and like the weight issues and shit like that. And you always see like a stretch during the season where you're like, all right, but it's kind of like, like he had a small window, then it closed, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Final thing that I want to talk about in the NBA and college basketball, and then we'll swing over to the NFL for a lot of that offseason stuff. So Amari Bailey he plays for the Charlotte Hornets, but he's working to go back to college. What are your thoughts on some of these different NBA players that are trying to make the shift back to college because they're not getting the playing time?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, no. If you like, the rule is you can go to the draft and not hire an agent. But once you get drafted, dude, that doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters. Like, you got drafted, bro. Like, you're in the league. You're signed a contract. Like, only in sports can you go backwards like that.
100%. There's no other place. You can't do that anywhere else.
You go backwards and like play people that are like that you're probably significantly better than.
Yeah.
And probably get paid, I guess, in the NIL world. So that's crazy to think about. That's a real thing that's happening. Imagine NFL players doing that. Imagine a guy getting through training camp and like not making the 53-man roster and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Ohio State. I'm gonna go back to Penn State for a hot second. No, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's because there's two players. There's another player that's doing the same thing. I don't
dude from Bama. No longer eligible to play for Bama. Like duh, he's fucking in the league, dude.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you guys can do that. Plus, they always have these conversations of, are NBA players that much better than college players? You're about to see it because you have that experience playing around a lot of other grown-ass men.
Bro, just bring back, let them go from high school. Like, let them go from high school. If they are going to be drafted in like the top, if they're going to be a lottery pick or like top 20, whatever, let them go. But like, allow them to test the waters and then go to college. But like, if give them the option to go from high school, dude, that would solve a lot of problems.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we never had this problem before
NIL.
This wasn't a problem when dudes were coming out of high school.
Nope, not at all. Nah. So that's the one thing I want a lot of people to pay attention to. Another part, I just had this at the bottom with the ticker, is off-season topics. So this week we don't have the off-season topics. Next week we will have a good amount of off-season topics to end up talking about. And the week after that, I'll put polls out so we can end up having discussions. On that side, we'll get closer to some opening day things with baseball. But just throw out any topics and discussions that you want to bring up on that side of the house. I do want to shift the attention to the NFL for a couple of different things. I was going to start this off with Patrick Mahomes, but I'm going to start with Kenneth Walker, then the Cleveland Browns, and we'll go into Patrick Mahomes. Number one, they're not expected to use a franchise tag on Kenneth Walker because they have so many different players that they have to pay on Seattle. So we don't really know what's going to happen there. They have to resign him. And no, actually, we have receipts for this because so many people were saying, why don't you keep Kenneth Walker? Like, he's been injured, this and that. Steven and I were the first ones saying, bro, resign him. Like, you saw what he just did. You saw what he did in the playoffs. You have Zach Charbonnet that's injured. So what are you going to do with your running back position? Charbonnet might not play in the beginning. We don't really know. Or is he going to be recovering? So that's one thing. The other part is you have to figure out who your players are that made Sam Darnold's job easier. And the running game does help a lot with that. Thoughts before we move on to the next one?
They gotta keep that team together. I guess if you're gonna pick one, you would pick Jackson Smith-Njigba to have as that go-to guy. But obviously they know how important the run game is, so they'll figure it out if they lose Kenneth Walker. But if you can do it, man, it just sucks that he was the MVP of the Super Bowl and had a dope ass season, and wrong time for that to happen in terms of a contract extension or a new contract. But see what you can get for him, or see what you can offer him.
Yeah. So next one that I want to talk about is Cleveland Browns. Have you heard about this?
No.
So the entire Cleveland Browns starting offensive line is set to be a free agent next month.
That's
so
great. What?
So Cam Robinson, Joel Bitonio, Ethan Posick, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin.
Jeez, dude.
All of them.
Squad up.
Mind you, Wyatt Tyler is a 3-time Pro Bowler, whatever Pro Bowl means nowadays.
Sure.
But all 5 of them. There's no way.
What do you like? How does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, how is that possible? How do you let that happen?
Never be something.
Never. That's crazy. No,
like that's
should never be
something that you should ever have to deal with. It doesn't really matter. That means clearly the general manager is not doing what they're supposed to do and what they get paid for to do.
Like, you're a completely incompetent person there.
Yeah. So we'll see what they end up doing there. And then who the hell knows who their quarterback is going to be. But also, Patrick Mahomes, did you hear about his contract restructuring?
Yes. So they can, which
wild.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes did not do this. And also, he's not losing any of this money. He's essentially going to have it kicked down the road to 2050. So when he retires, he's basically going to get paid at this point. But they're lowering his salary cap from $78.2 million to $34.65 million. So $34,650,000 is what his new salary cap number is. Couple of things, and Steven definitely knows this better than me. They're going to do it in various different ways. They're going to do some of this as a roster bonus. They're going to do some of it as a signing bonus just right away. They're going to kick some down the road into fully guaranteed money at the back end of his contract. But no matter what, that $44 million, well, roughly $43.5 million, he's going to get. It's just down the line. But no matter when he gets out the league, he's going to get that money. They're also saying Tyreek Hill they're supposed to end up bringing back. We'll see. But what are your thoughts when you see contracts that are cut like that?
I feel like that was a given, right?
Yeah.
It usually works out that way because they know it's going to end up biting the ass. They got to restructure it anyways because they're going to have to make room for some salary cap. But I mean, it's not like he needs it, right? It's not like he's hurting for it.
Only in sports.
Put that down there and let it roll. Yeah, good for them, right? You got to make that happen.
Yeah. So that's the only other thing we had in terms of the NFL side of the house. I know we'll have a lot more. I'll bring up a lot of topics next week for the NFL side of things, what's going to happen, because once March hits, you're going to have franchise tag deadlines hitting. One of my favorite things, we're going to have free agency happening. The scouting combine is right around the corner, and Jeremiah Love is one of the biggest topics of conversation, whether he's going to go, who knows, fall to the Saints, go to the Commanders. We don't know where he's going to go. Ohio State receivers is another thing. I'm skipping over the Indiana one for a reason, because there's other people that a lot of people want to talk about instead of him himself. But these are all topics we will talk about on top of our offseason topics. But you see what it shows at the banner down below. What you got?
I need to give a shout out to my daughter.
Shout
I
out.
said earlier
Happy
her birthday
birthday.
was yesterday. She turned 9, which is bonkers.
Yeah.
I know we always talk about my son. I always talk about Mason because he's usually the topic of conversation for better or worse. But I'm a girl dad through and through. Thank God she's like my wife in basically every single way, which is dope. I mean, she's a good person. Yeah, just need to give a shout out to the girl. She's not the problem child that Mason is, and I love him to death. But she's the firstborn, so shout out to Mia, man. 9.
Shout out.
Crazy.
So I was gonna bring that up of, bro, Steven, I remember when you first had both of them. Like that's the crazy part.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, Mason turns 7 next month.
Yeah,
crazy, long time. 9 years, dude.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to talk about. So the funny part is about yours. I always joke around with friends. By the time I end up having kids, your kids can just drive my kids around.
Yeah. So it's funny you mentioned that because we had our friends over on Sunday, and they are older than us. Most people that we hang out with in our neighborhood are like 10 years older than us. Some are closer in age, but most of them are like 10 years older. So, but they have kids our age. So we did the math, and when Mason finally goes to college, I'll be 45, and a lot of them will be approaching like 60. So that's what I said. My boy David will be 64, I think, when his son goes to college. So your boy, I'm gonna be 45. Your boy's gonna be chilling, bro.
Hell yeah,
chilling.
Yeah, you get to relax.
I'm good. Yeah.
So I got two different things. The first one is, so I started doing this happy hour with some of my friends on the Virginia side, and we'll go to like this Mexican place. And we brought up last time, all right, you know what? Some of us might end up going to Colombia. So they were like, oh, let's see if you bring a PowerPoint presentation. So we're hanging out tomorrow. Why did I have ChatGPT create a PowerPoint presentation of everything that we should end up doing in Colombia as to why these people should be interested in going with us? So I'll let you know next time if any of them can actually end up going, any of them have the money to end up going, or any of them end up deciding to go after that. Yes, because that's a real live topic of conversation.
Problem, bro.
The other thing is, a lot of people have brought up, oh, like, what are our thoughts and stuff for the show? Stay tuned, because there's a hell of a lot of stuff. We've put a lot of time and interest into this. If you end up looking, the banners at the bottom, that's a very new thing that we've done. Also, Twitter, we start to get a lot more engagement over there in terms of different things. Stay tuned for 2026 football season with the troller over there when it comes to the Ravens fans, because he's going to be in full force next year. But other than that, we don't have Jeff this week because Jeff has been chilling and not feeling the best. So next week we'll have Jeff. Until next time,
dude. Get better soon, dude.
Shout out. Peace. We out.